Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. 4 people suspected of being involved in the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse of Haiti were killed by the police in a gun battle, and 2 others were arrested, Haiti's police chief said late Wednesday. The chief, Leon Charles, also said that 3 police officers who had been held hostage were freed. The authorities did not name any of the suspects or cite any evidence linking them to the assassination. Mr. Moïse's wife, Martine Moïse, was also shot in the attack, the interim Prime Minister Claude Joseph said in a statement. Ms. Moïse was transported to a hospital in southern Florida for treatment. Late Wednesday, in a televised broadcast to the nation, Mr. Joseph presented himself as head of the government and announced that he and his fellow ministers had declared a state of siege. He called for calm. Still, it wasn't clear how much control he has or how long it might last. A new prime minister had been scheduled to replace Mr. Joseph this week, and the head of the nation's highest court, who might also have helped establish order, died of COVID-19 in June. Haiti's ambassador to the United States, Brochet Edmond, said on Wednesday that the murder of the country's president had been carried out by, I quote, well-trained professionals, killers, commandos, end of quote. The Haitian president was shot 12 times and his left eye was blown out. Drama erupted in Brazil's Congress on Wednesday as a former health ministry official was arrested under the orders of a lawmaker leading a Senate inquiry into the government's handling of the COVID-19 crisis. Roberto Diaz had been a logistics director at the health ministry but was fired last week after he was accused of asking for a bribe in the procurement of the Indian COVID-19 shot Covaxin. He has denied the accusation. He was arrested at the behest of Senator Omar Aziz on allegations that he lied in his testimony to the Senate inquiry earlier in the day. The Senate panel conducted the probe into the government's handling of the crisis has the power to detain. It was unclear whether he will be questioned by the civil or federal police. The Supreme Court has approved an investigation into President Jair Bolsonaro's role in the deal. Bolsonaro denies any wrongdoing. A major power outage in Central America cut electricity to some 15 million residents on Wednesday, with the worst impact felt in the Honduras and Nicaragua, according to the regional power operator EOR, as efforts to get the lights back on were ramped up. The 2 most affected countries saw power for nearly all residents practically go down to 0 volts, EOR communications head Evelyn Flores said. The grid operator said the outage began at 1 p.m., but the cause and specific origin of the massive loss of power still is being determined. And finally, coronavirus-related deaths across the globe passed a grim milestone of 4 million, according to data from Johns Hopkins University on Wednesday. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres addressed the grim toll in a message, repeating his appeal for a global vaccination plan to boost vaccine equity. I quote, "Today, the world marks yet another grim milestone in the COVID-19 pandemic. 4 million souls have now been lost to the virus. This tragic toll is more than the population of 1 out of 3 countries on Earth," end of quote, Guterres said. That was all for tonight's regional news. Thank you for joining.